everyone. Welcome back to the indieRift podcast. I am Steve Fontana. I'm one of your hosts, and with me is the other host this week. It's Andy Esimakis. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, hello, good sir. I'm in a really good mood today.
Are
For a
you?
Monday.
I'm in a pretty
For a
good
Monday.
mood too, but I think that's because I know it's only 3 days this week.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Well, I don't go to an office anymore, so every day is like Thanksgiving week, I guess, to me.
Every day is
So
Saturday.
every day is a weekend,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I eat oatmeal cream pies by the dozen while
that's a problem.
watching YouTube videos on the couch.
That's a
That's
problem.
my life.
So yeah, no more gym for you, I guess.
No, it's a problem. I think I have to go back because the holidays are approaching. I don't want to wait till after, because it's like that's gonna give me like a month, 6 weeks to behave badly, and I don't want to do that. So
I see.
I may start post Turkey Day, or just start tomorrow and then go like not as insanely obese on Turkey Day.
Interesting.
But
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. You never know. I may be like 80 pounds heavier by the time we do our next show.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, a couple of things to go over for housekeeping. We are on Blue Sky at indieRift, so if you could follow us over there. Blue Sky is kind of blowing up right now, and it's a really cool place. Sort of the main features there is that you can build your own follow lists, like categories, so you don't have just bombarded with shit you don't care about. So you could, what I made for indieRift, and I also made for myself, I'm at Batchild on that. I made indie gaming. So anytime somebody talks about indie gaming or indie dev or anything like that, I have a nice little feed of just that stuff. And it's a really nice way to kind of enjoy the things that you actually like, as opposed to, again, being bombarded with ads, being bombarded with politics, being bombarded with videos of people pranking each other for no reason, or like dumb memes or whatever. If that's your thing, fine. But if you want something that's a little bit more curated and curated by you, go check it out and give us a follow over there. That'd be really awesome. If you want to support the show with your hard-earned dollary dues, you could go to patreon.com/indieRift, just like our Patreon producer, Colton the Journeyman Nestler. We cannot continue to grow without all of your support, so we do appreciate it if you did head over there and get some bonus shows. Bonus show recording tomorrow night, and it is a full reaction of the Game Awards nominees. It's supposed to be Matt and Andy on that, but I think I might be able to join. We'll see.
I think you want to join.
I do want to join, but I do have a prior engagement that I'm not sure is happening. So if it doesn't happen, I will be on that show, and you will get a 3-man neckbeard opinions on the VGAs. Just the full 3 white dudes with beards, telling you
there's not enough of that
giving you our opinion. No, at least you're gay, you know? Like, at least we check off one box, one diversity box.
We did it.
I've killed Andy.
We did it, guys.
I've killed him. One more bit of housekeeping. Andy and I, and possibly Matt, are going to PAX Unplugged next weekend. God. Yes, exciting next weekend times. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We have a bunch of demos and interviews lined up, so we're going to bring some indie board games and tabletop RPGs to your ear holes and eye holes on our YouTube page. That's usually where that kind of stuff lives. Hopefully this could be the beginning of a nice little side sort of niche for us to kind of carve out and talking about indie board games and stuff. It's sort of a passion within a passion of mine. I know Matt is very into analog gaming as well. Yeah, so, but we, it's always about, do we have time to do anything? But I think being at PAX and being able to produce things while we're there, PAX Unplugged, I think is going to be a great thing. So if you're going to PAX Unplugged, look for us. We'll be walking around acting like complete morons with our camera and interviewing people who probably don't want to be on camera, but we'll see. It'll be great. It'll be a wonderful time.
It'll be a lot of fun.
So much fun. All right, let's move into the indie news report. Unless, Andy, do you have anything new on indieRift? I don't think you do, but
not really. But I just want to do a quick piggyback off of the Blue Sky thing.
Sure.
I discovered that it's going to be a great resource to kind of bother and poke developers, because I've been looking at their numbers versus like their Twitter announcements and
Yeah,
their Blue Sky announcements. It's not the same ratio of
obviously, yeah.
engagement, obviously. But again, there's a thirst for engagement on that newer platform.
Right.
So if I can bother you there, I may get a response.
Let's clarify. We're not bothering, like pestering and being like, finish your game, bro. No, we mean to like interview you on Dev Dive, a conversational podcast, which you could find on youtube.com/indieRift. And of course, your favorite podcast service of choice, including our home Podbean, which is a lovely place to be. Indie news report, the first on the list. News. Indeed, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl has already sold 1 million copies, with many more playing on Xbox Game Pass. This one comes from IGN. I'll just give a little snippet here. In a tweet, Ukrainian studio GSC said that in addition to these sales, quote, much more are playing via Stalker 2's day one launch on Game Pass, Microsoft's subscription service. No wonder it feels a bit crowdy in the zone, GSC tweeted. 1 million copies were sold and much more players joined the artifact hunt with Game Pass. This is just the start of our unforgettable adventure. The heart of Chernobyl emanates stronger with each of us. Thank you, Stalkers. So,
yeah,
good stuff there.
I mean, the big story there is that this team was able to create such an amazing, reviewed experience, albeit the number of jank and bugs, but you know, they'll work that out over time. But like doing all that against the backdrop of a war,
while being bombed,
deserves mentioning. So
that's a problem.
Congrats on the team for not only getting the game across the finish line, but also on these huge sales. So, you know, I'm waiting to play the game. I feel like I'm gonna do a disservice in terms of not after a patch comes out. I'm gonna wait till all the things are kind of like ironed out, and then I'm gonna jump into Chernobyl, as it were. I'm gonna wait.
I watched a streamer play it for briefly. There's a streamer, I think he's called like Grandpa Gaming. He's an older gentleman. He's a grandpa, and he usually plays as a sniper in Warzone. Like that's his thing, and he's unbelievable. So cool. He's unbelievable. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he might have been a sniper, like in the army, like something. When he plays Stalker 2, now I don't know much about the Stalker franchise. I don't know much about Stalker 2, but it seems like it's kind of like an open world quasi horror, like stealth shooter. That's kind of what I get from it. Don't know if that's true.
But it's like your typical like run and gun FPS.
Yeah.
If that's what you're getting at.
There is nothing that shakes that man. He is just
unshakable.
He's calmly just picking dudes' heads right off their shoulders. It's warm to see. You love to see it. Good on them. Just days after release, having 1 million copies sold, which is phenomenal.
That's so cool.
Our next story here is Remedy reveals how many copies Control 2 and Firebreak need for 100% return on investment. This is an interesting thing because this is kind of...
I love this story.
Yeah, it's kind of a story that we always pontificate. We don't really know. But this is kind of nice that it's, out there on the table. This is on IGN as well, so please give a quick thank you to Wesley Yin Poole for writing this. Let's see. I had something highlighted and then I clicked and now I don't have it highlighted anymore. It's worth prefacing this by saying Remedy is talking about the sales needed to make 100% return on investment on these games over the course of their lifetime. But where's the and it's expected over a period of time of 3 to 5 years after its release. The game budgets, Remedy said, were set with their price points and expected sales during this period in mind and are, quote, realistic. The sales figure to achieve 100% return on investment doesn't mean the sales required for profitability either. Achieving 100% return on investment means you've doubled your investment. So here's some numbers here. With Firebreak, Remedy's new 3-player co-op game set in the Control universe, which will also be available on day one Game Pass and PS Plus Extra, which will secure additional revenue from Microsoft and Sony, as they say. The development budget for Firebreak is 30 million euros, which is about $31.7 million, and will carry a mid price point. to secure 100% ROI, it needs to sell 3 million copies during its lifespan. So you assume that means 1.5 million to recoup its budget. So definitely lofty, but if it's a Firewatch did really well, and I would imagine I'm sorry, Control did really well, and Firebreak, I had that in my mind.
Yeah,
Control did really well, and this universe is like ripe for the picking, I think. Alan Wake, was on fire as well, so I don't think that's too lofty of a goal in my opinion. Also, that budget is pretty modest compared to some of these AAA games
it is, yeah.
We're used to hearing. Let's see. Moving on to Control 2, as a full-price AAA game, Remedy is set to self-publish, which is a big thing because that means they, don't have to siphon money off to anyone else. The development budget is higher. It's 50 million euros, so 52.9 million, so just about 53 million. Control 2 needs to sell between 3 and 4 million copies to get their 100% return on investment. That is interesting to me because it doesn't feel like, it feels like 4 million is kind of a lot, but to get that 100% ROI, I think like 3.5 is probably what they really, well, they did say between 3 and 4. So I guess that's basically what they're saying. But yeah, I love that kind of transparency with that, it gives you an insight into what goes into pricing these games too. Like, why are these games $70? Why are the special editions $100? Like, why is that important? Do they have the metrics to say that, 200,000 people will buy the special edition, so that accounts for 1.5 sales of the normal game, so like you can make up revenue that way. Very interesting. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I love this because it really puts a perspective, like budgets versus game sales, and like I think it's a chat we have to have because look at a recent game like FF16, for example, which sold over 3 million copies in its first week, but then you hear stories how it didn't quite meet expectations, and you wonder what kind of budget went into a game like that.
Right.
And look at these, again, modest budgets, like $31 million, 1.5 mil just to break even.
Right.
And like for a lot of like games, it's hard to even get to that lately.
Yeah.
And like Alan Wake 2, I think just surpassed like 1.8 million sales recently. So I'm wondering how that's doing on this particular scale for Remedy. But I wish we had this for all the games. I'd love to see like what would have like had a Concord look like for this, or Spider-Man 2, or like the big budget games.
Concord needed to sell 52 million copies.
Correct.
I look at it and I wonder, does that factor in the PS Plus / Game Pass dollars, or is that like extra on top of?
I would imagine it has to be extra because you've secured the funding from both of those platforms and services.
Right.
That's going into the math, I would imagine, into getting that.
Maybe that goes into like your production budget. So where they spent 30 million euros, maybe it was really 35 million euros because they got, or whatever, 32 million euros because they got 2 million to publish on those two platforms. That's a lot of money. Also, but you know what I mean.
I'm not sure if this even includes a marketing campaign, because this just says game development budget. Does that include the marketing piece of it?
Typically, as a former game developer, and I've seen those things behind the scenes a little bit. Typically, yes, it's all in. Typically, your budget for a game is all in, including your marketing. Now, especially if they're self-publishing,
which is very different from the movie world. Those budgets don't include the marketing piece.
Well,
double. That's like the math on that.
Yeah, because the studio, there's an amount that it costs you to make the movie, and then you have to determine how much money you can pump into advertising and actually make money on, like, it has to reach the right audiences. You need to be in you know, in the right markets, and that's where these marketing firms make so much money, because they do that research. They understand that if you spend $5 million and do a commercial on, you know, CBS on Tuesdays and Thursdays between this show and that show, you'll reach your 100% target audience for this kind of movie, you know, kind of thing. Like, they know that. So that makes it worth it. For games, I mean, so much of it is just influencers, right? So much of it is getting games in the hands of reviewers, or, you know, an IGN, or, you know, all that stuff.
With streamers, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's social media marketing, which is relatively cheap. You know, we could advertise this show for $50 to 5,000 people.
Right.
Kick my light. So there's options out there. So,
yeah,
but I love that kind of stuff. So
I do, on a final piece, I do have concerns about Firebreak. I mean, again, I love how it's nested in the overall, like, Remedy universe, but that's just not the kind of game I feel. Again, you know, it doesn't have to all be for me, but I think where that game could maybe miss its mark, Control 2 could more than make up for that, because I feel that game will definitely surpass easily the 4 million mark.
We'll see.
Lifetime sales. I'm calling it.
All right, why don't you take this next story, because I have no idea what's happening.
Oh.
It's just a tweet, so I have no idea, like, what the backstory is on this.
So, a game that I discovered via this piece of news on Reddit.
Oh, okay.
Called Toree Saturn, which, for those who know Steven, this game is Steven's absolute fucking nightmare.
Oh, Christ.
It's Sonic.
Oh,
it's Sonic with a bird in 3D, and it has a level ranking system. So it's like
okay,
like
but here's the thing. I'm looking at some of the gameplay, gameplay footage. There's no random spike traps that stop you from going fast. So that's important.
It's in my demo to read for the week, so we'll get into that later. But it's like Sonic Light. But it was a game. It looks so fucking cute. It was delayed for quality issues, to give it that extra polish and love that it needs, till early 2025 from December of this year was the initial release window. So very apologetic, but that means I get to bother you and get you on the show, developer guy Marcus. That's your real name.
It's gonna happen, Marcus.
Oops, he's got an email in his Twitter profile.
Oh,
we're
boy,
done.
you done fucked up, bro. Marcus, you done messed up, Marcus.
He's made Super Kiwi 64, Toree 3D/2, MacBat 64, and Tasty. I've played Tasty Ramen. Okay, this guy is getting so email bombarded. Is there a Discord? It's happening. But it's happening. Super cute game. Got delayed. No biggie. I'm all about that.
Indeed, we've spoken about game delays. Just delay your game if it's not ready. Composer Grant Kirkhope joins Divide Soliani's new indie studio. Davide. That's how you say that. That's Davide. Davide. Yes, I know somebody named Davide, and he's one of my kids' classmates' parents.
Nice.
Yeah, so the director of Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle and Sparks of Hope recently revealed his new indie studio, Day 4 Night. It is focused on delivering, quote, deeply heartfelt and original games that innovate in storytelling and design. It is a bold new venture. Oh, by the way, this is on Nintendo Life for those who want to give the click. It is a bold new venture for the creator who has previously spent 25 years with Ubisoft. It's a good job that he's bringing some serious talent on board then, with his latest announcement confirming that legendary composer Grant Kirkhope will not only be the team's composer, but a full-fledged member. That is dope. The tweet came out at D4N. We're incredibly honored to announce that Grant will not only be our official composer, but a full-fledged member of our team. I tried to convince my partners that this was a bad idea, but they wouldn't listen. No way out now. Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, to give you guys just a taste of what this Grant has worked on over the course of a very long career that spans back as early as 1996. Killer Instinct 2 / Gold, Donkey Kong Land 2, GoldenEye 007, Viva Pinata, Star Fox Adventures, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, all basically a huge chunk of the Rare.
Hold on.
Was a game developer.
Are you telling me that he composed that pause music for 007 GoldenEye?
I mean, it doesn't really say that he did that, but the fact that we don't know, it's Schrodinger's theme at this point. And maybe he did it. We're not gonna know until we Google it. What else does he have here? He worked on a game that I kind of want to look into called Fart Cat! !
Okay. Wow.
In more recent years, Mario and Rabbids, Ukulele, A Hat in Time. This man just loves his 3D platformers. It seems he's all about that. Let's see what else. Minecraft Dungeons, World of Warcraft, Shadowlands, Cadence of Hyrule as a special thanks. I wonder what that's about. Smash Bros. Ultimate. So this guy's been,
he's done some stuff.
Knee deep in the industry for a long time, and seeing him join a brand new indie studio with the minds behind the Rabbids universe and a bunch of other awesome Ubisoft stuff gives me joy. So best of luck, and maybe you, Grant, will come on the show one day if I bother you too on Twitter. Is your email also in your Twitter account? Let's find out.
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right.
Next on our listicles of things to get through, ladies and gentle germs, it's our indie game adventures. Now, before I kick it over to you, Anthony, Jesus Christ, Andy, I don't even know who Anthony is. I don't know what he looks Anthony, like. I mean, I did speak to him recently, so maybe.
Perhaps.
I admittedly have not been playing much of anything indie-wise. Matt has been sort of the arbiter of the indie games, as it were, because I got kind of wrapped up in Dragon Age, Veilguard, and I'm not going to go into it. That's not what this show is for, but I did want to make a point. I've been playing that game exclusively on Steam Deck. That is a AAA game. You need a pretty good PC, if you're gonna run games like this nowadays. The Steam Deck, the game looks like ass.
On Steam Deck.
On Steam Deck, it looks like ass. Okay. It's like screen door effect galore. Textures are just terrible. However, the game plays like a dream. Not a single hitch, no screen tears, no dropped frames, nothing. The game, the fans are blowing hot air in your face. But I get like 3 hours of continuous gameplay without being plugged in on a AAA game of that magnitude with no frame drops. I think it's running I'm pretty sure it's running at 30. But I'm having a great time with it. Like I really was thinking that I would have to play this on my PC regular, but it was verified on Steam Deck. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. If it's ass, I'll just play on PC. But I haven't played on PC once. I've been playing. I probably put, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours in already, and it's all been on Steam Deck. So that's a great thing to know, that the Steam Deck is still capable of giving you a good experience with brand new games. And that's kind of what I wanted to just bring to the table this week. Yes, and I do have a couple of games that I need to play for next week. But a game that I did play maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, that I brought to the table, you got to play the full version of Dungeon Clawler.
Yeah, this was a totally random code that was given to me by the developer.
Well, bully
He
for
sent
you.
me an email. Sent me an email saying, "Hey, thanks for covering the game on your podcast. Here's a code, and thanks for all the coverage." And I was like, "Great. I like this game a lot."
The game's it's really cute. It's cute and it's addictive.
It's adorable.
Like doing the little claw machine, it's addictive.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I was in,
yeah.
and again, also a huge shout out because the perfect time, because I was coming back home from a flight from Missouri, and it was like I needed something for a 4-hour flight to occupy my time with, and this game made that flight go by so much more easily and a lot more faster.
You'll love to
So
see it.
the basic premise is of Dungeon Clawler. It is a roguelike title where instead of, let's say, where you pull cards in a Slay the Spire kind of a game, you have a bunch of items in a claw machine, and you send the claw out. You stop it where you want to stop it. It picks up some balls. It drops balls in a little depository. Your little cute character gets them, and then it just does the attacks that you picked up. Really neat. You can go to a blacksmith and upgrade these cards, or the cards, the little balls or items, with gold, the currency in the game. But yeah, it's just super cute. It's super fun. It's not that deep. It's a good way to pass your time, and it's I loved it. I played it for like a good 4 hours on the plane ride back home. I played it for a little bit here and there ever since. In early access right now, but it's got some polish for an early access title. And again, it's just adorable. It's simple. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel in any special kind of way. It's just, it knows what it is, and that's why I love it so much. It's simple, fun.
Yeah.
Game.
The cool, one of the cool like mechanics of this thing, it's like the tug of war that you do is there are like negative items that will end up in in the machine as well. So it's not just your powerful moves that are getting in there for you to claw.
Right.
Like there could be like caltrops, I guess is what they are, and they do damage to you. So you're kind of avoiding that using your dexterity to kind of get through and pick up things. Then there'll be like super powerful attacks in there that'll be like leaned up against the wall, and you're like, how am I going to get that? Okay, so I'm going to drop the thing in, it'll knock it over. So I'll get a bunch of garbage this first turn, but my second turn, I'm going to get that big axe. And then, you could do stuff like that. And there's other perma abilities that you'll get that will put other power-ups, like, you'll do extra damage if you pick up this weapon or whatever, or you have more shield when you pick up the shields thing or whatever. So it's good.
Yeah. And a surprising level of strategy, because you would think you're just fishing in this machine for items, but you say to yourself, okay, there's a boss fight. Let me try to grab the shields, for example, to buff up the defense, or I have to heal. I can pick up the staff, which gives me healing and also a big ass attack. Stacking weapons and things, like trying to grab like 4 swords and daggers at once to do an all-out attack to kind of finish off the boss. It's fun because it's unpredictable how the claw will land, and there's physics involved that you mentioned before. So it's a lot of fun. So it's super cute, and it's not that expensive, and it's got a lot of heart, and looking forward to the full-blown release. Dungeon Claw.
Excellent. Next on the list here is RetroRealms Arcade, Andy.
Oh boy.
This is an Andy game.
This is an Andy game. This is by our good friends at Way Forward. So this is a 2-for-1. This is the first 2 in their series of like old school side-scrolly pixel art horror themed titles. And they came with the Halloween Michael Myers and the Evil Dead Ash game.
And these were the ones that were announced ahead of time. These are the ones that we've spoken about on the show before, but
correct.
They are here.
So I only played the Halloween Michael Myers one because I wanted to get like right to the act. And I've played as Ash in other games. youth and in my earlier adulthood. I want to play as Michael Myers because I've been wanting that for very long. So it's interesting. It's I love the premise, by the way. So it's Michael Myers in a cell in some, asylum someplace. And this demon who I guess is drawn by Michael's just insatiable bloodlust is like, hey, there's demons everywhere. You got to go kill these demons, and you're good at killing shit. So go kill shit because that's what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael's just like, he don't talk, he don't care. He's just sitting there like whatever, all chained up.
Point me in a direction, and I'll
right.
go
Well,
ham.
no, he doesn't care. He's like, I'm not interested. Is the initial like response you get from Michael without saying as many words. And the demon's like, look, I'm gonna take the gravestone of your first kill, your sister. If you want it back, you're gonna have to do my bidding for me. So you got no choice. And I was like, that's kind of neat. And he gives you the knife from your very first kill when he killed his sister in the Halloween lore, as it were. And it's off to the races. So you're slaughtering, security people, other inmates. And there's an interesting Soul Reaver messenger like reality shifting thing mechanic where you go from like the real world to this demonic, like blood and guts ridden world where demons exist, and it alters like the level layout. So there'll be a platform that you have to get to, but how do I get there? So you shift, it else appears, you jump on that. So it's a lot of that is involved.
Guacamelee.
Yeah, exactly. And another one that has that mechanic as well. Super bloody, super gory, a lot of fun. It's your basic, hacky slashy game. I love it because it's sprites and Michael Myers. It's really like the low hanging fruit for me, Steven.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much.
I know.
Going. This is all it is, really, for me. And it's like, how can I not love this with all my heart and soul?
Yeah.
It's great. And it's not that long, maybe like 3 hours for the full game.
Okay.
Straightforward.
It's
So I, blaze through that, and I'll likely work on the Evil Dead one this week when I get some time. But I want more of this, is what I'm saying.
And you're gonna get it.
This for all the things way forward. I love it. Don't stop.
Don't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. And Demo Derby, you had mentioned, you kind of foreshadowed this with our story, one of our stories for Toree Saturn. You played the demo, so yeah, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, again, this game was big on my radar this week. It's also, for those who want to know, the indie. It's on
the steal of the week.
Well, it's on our wishlist roundup.
Oh yeah, wishlist. Okay.
So I mean, you should.
Okay, so let's get into that then.
A quickie note on the game itself. It's Sonic without trying to put obstacles in your way, which I think why you would enjoy playing.
Sure.
It's about going fast, yes.
You gotta go fast.
But there's no death spikes.
Well, they're trying. Enemies. Those are enemies.
There's enemies, but I'm not sure you can actually hurt them or attack them.
They just get in your way. It looks like
they're just in your way.
Yeah.
It's got a really funky soundtrack with lyrics. It's like pop music in a sense.
Dope.
That really caught me off guard. I was like, okay, we're going in this direction. I see this. It's like it has like an arcade Dreamcast kind of vibe.
Yep, absolutely does.
Again, it's very Sega when you're playing it, which makes sense. Yeah, so I was like, damn, got delayed, and I'm kind of pissed, but still looking forward to that. So try it out, and then when you're done loving it, wishlist it, which brings us to
wishlist it. Yes, the wishlist roundup, which we're not going to talk about that again. But it was there. Yeah, let's go into Greytail on the wishlist roundup. These are games that caught our attention that we want to bring to your attention so that you can throw them on your wish list wherever you play games. Most of these are going to be on Steam for you to wishlist, but I digress. Yeah, Greytail.
Yeah, I found this on Reddit. Because I'm in all of the indie gaming Reddits that exist. And those are a vehicle for folks to promote their upcoming titles and their works in progress. And I came across Greytail, and I'm like, oh, pixel art, cool. Oh, a Zelda-like, double cool. And like some detective explorer Indiana Jones guy that's searching for quote unquote the best female pilot who went missing mid-flight. If it's like an Amelia Earhart reference there, but I digress. But look at this. It's like super, super cute. I love the pixel art. He's like running around, exploding things, setting on fire. He's like a giant octopus boss. It's so cool. Beautiful pixel artwork. And again, it just ticks all the Andy boxes for me.
Yeah, that looks dope. That's Greytail. Go and wishlist it now, or you're a fool. Speaking of fools, the developer of this next game was a fool and came on our show, and now we're gonna talk.
Now he can't get rid of us.
Now he can't get rid of us, and every time we see him, it's a big hug fest.
Because he's an amazing human being, and we love him so much.
Indeed. Anton Blast has it's almost here.
Dude, it's like a week away. I'm getting a little like jittery because when I first saw this game, it's invoking all of the fun like Wario Land games from the Game Boy era of Mario. And it's just so stylistic and the gameplay is so solid. Soundtrack just slaps like no one's business. And it's here. And it's all passion, this game. And wishlist it and then buy it. That's all I'm gonna say to people.
Yeah, pre-buy that. It just fits right in with those like Nickelodeon games and like Earthworm Jim.
Yes.
And like it just fits those vibes of like tween Saturday morning cartoon stuff.
Yeah. Slapstick humor, you know, like there's a grossness to it.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little icky.
Features and characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Ren and Stimpy, like Rocko's Modern Life, like those kind of a vibe. It's so dope, and I can't wait to play it. Full ass game.
It shall be a full ass game. It shall be.
And it's got the best story. The devil stole all your fucking booze. Like
that sucks.
Come on.
That sucks, man. That's a song, right? The devil stole all my booze.
Yeah, if it is now.
I'm sure that's a song by someone. The last game here on our wish list roundup is another retro inspired game called Neon Inferno. This game looks real cool.
Look at this.
I love a good side scrolly beat 'em up with like some shoots, you know?
Yeah, like arcadey, like cursor and the shooting stuff in the background kind of a vibe going on. And it's like, this is like gorgeous pixel art. Like, you know, we talk about sprite work a lot on the show because I'm a maniac and I love sprites.
You do.
But this is just there's so much detail in this. This is like going past like what an SNES or like a Genesis. This is like a 32-bit kind of a situation going on. So much detail. It's like set in a futuristic New York. So for the both of us, this
next week. This is next week.
This clip.
Yeah. You're right now you're seeing
now.
Yeah.
This is now.
This is going to be New York on January 6th. It's going to be chaos. Very good people on both sides, folks.
Yeah.
You're
a maniac. Absolute madman. But again, looking at this, it's hard to see why we wouldn't love it and recommend it. But they don't make games like this and to see them embrace like this kind of gameplay, where it's not just like a side-scrolly shooty. It's like it's got these arcade run and gun elements to it. There's like you're on a motorbike on a highway blasting shit. That's a vibe, dude.
Yeah,
that's a vibe.
Indeed. Neon Inferno coming out next year. You could also watch the developer play the game, streaming it live right now on Steam. So I guess they'll do that more times and you could see it being played in real time.
Yeah.
in real time. Speaking of real time, there's a game you can buy right now for like no money.
Steven,
like almost like a Starbucks and a muffin, you know, like a small, like a tall cup of coffee and like one slice of that like banana nut bread, you know?
This is like you went to Starbucks and you got a coffee and you gave a really good tip and the guy was like, "That's awesome. Here's a free banana nut cake."
Yeah. Yeah. And of course we're talking about Two Stir Side or Toaster Side.
Steven,
it's a terrible logo. I'm sorry. It's a terrible logo.
But you can read the words of the logo.
Yeah, no, I was making it funny.
Reading things.
Toaster Side.
Read the description.
Yes, we're gonna read the Toaster Side description.
Okay.
You are a toaster. You have been tasked with eliminating targets by expertly maneuvering into their bathtubs. Use your power cord and toast abilities to slow down time. Grapple and swing around physics-based environments to execute a toaster side, all while navigating as fast as possible. This was released on 3 days ago, as of this recording, November 22nd.
Dude, it's Spider-Man 2 with a toaster. You do realize that?
I realized nothing. I didn't realize the piece of toast was an A. So
yeah. So hopefully in the near future we'll have the chairman on Dev Dive. We've been chatting back and forth on Instagram for a very long time. You know, while he was working on the game, and now it's actually here. So I want to know what this game's story is, because no person.
This was definitely a game jam. There's no doubt in my mind. This was a game jam.
I think it was like a college project.
Okay. Okay.
All the reels and the stories from the gram. But still, this is just I love, for the intention alone, that someone actually made a game where you're playing as. It reminds me of, what was that Roomba game?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Like Vacuum Justice or
Suck it. Justice
Sucks.
Justice Sucks. There it is. I got it.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's like you did it. Like
the appliance verse.
Yeah.
You'll have to see it.
Coming soon, our game about a killer blender.
Well,
a killer ninja.
Most are killer blenders. When I was in college, my friend and I did a full improv acoustic punk rock album, like 11 songs, and we pretended that we were doing a live show at like a cafe or something. And one of the stories that we told was about Jimmy Rattail, who we were dedicating the next song to because he sadly passed away when he was walking by a blender and his rat tail got caught in the blender and pulled himself in. So Jimmy Rattail, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, Jimmy Rattail. Yeah, the Toasterverse. Here, I have a toaster story before we go to the end of the show. So
I have a toaster story.
My parents got a new, like, kick-ass air fryer. And it's got, you know, like all the settings, like the toast setting, the this setting, the that setting. So they, you know, it's on the counter. You have to kind of like pull it away from the wall so that it can like exhaust out the back when you're air frying. So when they first got this thing, I went downstairs and, you know, my parents live downstairs, and I was like, I want to have a piece of toast. So I looked at the big machine. I'm like, okay. So I pull out the thing and I put the bread inside, and I go to the toast setting. And I hit the toast setting. Can you guess how quickly my toast was made?
5 seconds.
8 minutes.
What?
It takes 8 minutes for this stupid,
what?
like top of the line from the future air fryer to make toast.
That's right.
So my parents, have their toaster still there that you take out and like, oh no, if you want toast, you got to use like the real McCoy and like 2-minute toast, like perfect.
I do like my English muffins and my toast in my little toaster oven, which has an air fryer setting. It takes a lifetime.
It takes a month and a half.
Right texture or the right consistency.
No.
If underdone or burnt to a crisp.
It's like heating your food with a blow dryer. Like I don't need
your
this.
hot breath.
Yeah. Anyway, toaster side. I wanted to commit toaster side when I was putting my toast in there, waiting 8 damn minutes for a fucking piece of toast. 8 minutes. Get out of here. Speaking of 8 minutes, we are so happy that you gave us more than 8 minutes tonight.
More than that.
Yeah, you gave us almost an hour of your time, and we do appreciate that. Again, follow us on all the social medias at indieRift. I'm at Batchild pretty much everywhere you go. Andy's at Pants Guy. Yeah, it's gonna bring us to the end, bud. I had a good time.
Yeah, looking forward to our Game Awards chat tomorrow with look forward to Steve playing some games for next week's discussion.
Very excited.
And also we should also at this point talk about our own zany and wacky Game Awards.
Yes. We haven't given it much thought yet, so the time is a coming, and that's usually what we do with like that Christmas break kind of thing.
Yeah.
So look forward to our stupidity because it's coming.
Our really silly award titles, because to us it's about the games of the year. So many games touch our hearts throughout the year for various reasons. Some serious, some silly, but again, it's all games that you should be playing. And you watch the show for the games you should.
Indeed. Also, this is kind of news, but I think we'll talk a little bit more deeply about it next week because I kind of need to do a little more research on the topic. But the Indie Game Awards is a new indie game award show that is being put together, kind of, sort of. It's going to be on IGN, but it's being, I believe, hosted by our friends at 6-1 Indie.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, they're doing some crazy stuff.
They're doing some good work. Those guys over there.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Good stuff, man.
Indie Game Awards. There it is. You can follow that. Produced by 6-1 Indie. Our friends, Mike and Kyle. We love you guys.
All around great human beings, too.
Awesome human beings. Awesome human beings. So, yeah, kudos to them. And I look forward to that. On December 19th, maybe we'll do a big old live show, live, watch along that we used to do on the old Twitch review.
Yeah, I would like that.
That was fun. That was a fun thing. That's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time on IGN.com and on their YouTube channel. So
it's way after work. That's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, it's the 19th. When's the 19th? What day is that? That's a Thursday. Okay. All right. I mean, it's D&D night, so.
All right, we'll do it after. We'll do it Friday. We'll do a post, not live react.
Indeed. So again, congratulations to 6-1 Indie doing the Lord's work for indie games. Maybe we'll partner up in the new year, do something together again. But sadly, tonight we must part. Listeners, thank you so much for joining us this week. I had a blast. Andy had a good time. Matt had the best time of all.
He's probably still drinking.
He's drunk somewhere. Yeah. He's on vacation, so that's why he's not here. But he'll be here to record a bonus show tomorrow in the evening. Thank you. Oh, by the way, that bonus show you can get on patreon.com. Patreon.com/IndieRift. That's where you're going to get that probably 2-hour Indie Game Awards just screaming at each other about how DLC is not should not be up for Game of the Year. But That's going to be at least a half an hour. If I'm on the show, that's a half an hour. No problem.
And the other hour is me yelling why remakes are valid and Matt is wrong and stupid.
Matt is wrong. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, indie games, indie developers. We love you. And let's get you on Dev Dive, a conversational podcast. And that's it. Good night. And as always, please be excellent to each other.